I've been thinking about Jerry Sussman and Hal Abelson's talk. I mean, it's nice that they got music boxes and things, but the trouble is Jerry Sussman doesn't actually know that much about logic. This proofs as types correspondence isn't a miraculous miracle. It's because every program in a functional programming language actually corresponds to a proof. And at the very least, it's a proof of the validity of the steps used in the construction. They might not be the steps that should have been used. That's a question of the formalism. But it's a proof. Every program is a proof. And if you design your programs right, who's to say that every program can't be its own correctness proof? And that's kind of the idea about types. It's correctness up to a point. So, and I think that's what Dijkstra was talking about. Dijkstra was talking about writing programs in such a way that they were their own proofs. And it means you have to be very careful about your programming. But it does have advantages. Like the programs are very easy to understand. And it's true, it works best for very well-defined, simple constructions, like binary search. Or base 2 logarithms and things like this. But a lot of the more complex structures that you get in modern programs are because they're using the wrong type of language. They should be using some sort of process calculus, and instead they're using a kind of normalization calculus. When you look at programs as proofs, which I did because I took that Hindley-Milner type inference system that I wrote and I modified it, and it wasn't very difficult. I modified it. Instead of producing a true or false, well typed or not result, what it did was it produced a proof in a formal deduction system, and it was really amazing when you looked at the proof. You can see the structure in it, which as a proof looks amazing, but as a program is kind of completely obvious. So there's this idea of proofs as process, and that's what Jean-Yves Girard studied. And I just don't understand why. I mean, there was a backlash against it by people who didn't understand it, and their emotional reaction was hatred. So their hatred motivated them not to learn anything about it. That's kind of immature. You might hate something because you don't understand it. You can maybe start hating the people who made it so obscure, but if you look at the way Girard describes linear logic, you get the feeling that there is a great deal of care taken to construct the system in exactly that way. And it was a result of 3 iterations over decades. The guy spent decades on that. And some people who call themselves semanticists just hate it. They hate that, which is a real pity. But maybe if you look at it in another way, as programming processes, then you get another angle on it, and it may make more sense to somebody who thinks more like in a process way.